either they start with a column or they start with an article, they start with monogram, some 20 pages, 30 pages, or they try to write some chapters in a book. They try to co-author with certain people, but as it is, Dr. Dilip Kilaro is a versatile personality working successfully in various fields, including politics. So right at the go, he has attempted a book which is more than 250 pages and has multiple subjects in its kitty. So when you look through the book, it is not a single subject book. You have Mahatma Gandhi ji there in detail, you have Bhagavad Gita there in detail, you have the details of the freedom struggle or freedom fighters also in very much detail, and more than 60-70 pages of freedom fighters is also there. And even in freedom fighter also, in our country, many people try to distinguish between various kinds of freedom movement, right from revolutionary to non-cooperative movement. And luckily, Dr. Dilip Kilaro has put everybody in a single basket and told all are freedom fighters of equal reverence. And again, because of his profession, he has observed many various facets of this national life. So he has dwelled in detail with corruption, about various other problems that are plaguing the country also. So overall, it is something like you can get into the book and find many of the topics. And if you want details about many of the topics, you can again refer to this book. So it is not a single subject book, or it is not a single theme book. It has got multiple subjects, it has got multiple themes, and you can easily tell that this is a book about the post-independent India by a person who is socially very much active in the last 20 to 30 years. As such, Dr. Dilip Kilaro is basically a politician. He is an office bearer and an activist of Bharatiya Janata Party. But along with that, he is a very serious and successful entrepreneur also, being a builder and a construction agency, which he has little slowed down now. And he is a versatile advocate also, and one of the most sought after arbiter also in that field. So along with that, now he has donned a new robe in the form of writing a book like an author. Now you can tell he is an author also. So his profile is slowly getting increased every day. So another facet of his personality has come forth now, and I congratulate him. An author without a publisher cannot exist. It becomes a very amorphous thing. There is an author, I write, but it doesn't get published. That cannot happen. And more than writing, it is publishing that pinches many people. So I have seen many publishers, I have worked with many publishers, and we know the problem of publishing. So publishing a book is not so easy because in our country, number one. Number two, in modern times when digital technology has taken over all kinds of other technology, now printing a book and publishing a book is a non-profit job. Whoever does it, it is a non-profit job. Either they should do it as a service work, or they should do it as a philanthropic work. So many books are published by authors themselves because publishers won't accept it. But here we have a publisher who has taken the courage to publish an author's first book. This is not that Dr. Dilip Kilaro is an established social personality and political personality, but he is not an established author. So to publish his book again requires a little bit of courage, and I congratulate Vivek Garg and all his companions, all his co-partners in Manasapra Publisher for taking courage to publish a book and taking the responsibility of reaching out to all the readers. As I told in my earlier sentences, this book is more of so, except for freedom movement and freedom fighters, this book is more so about an observation from a person who has been leading a close social life and close professional life along with political activity. Because many times when writers do it, they do it out of creativity, not out of experience. When you write something about a cloud, and when you write something about an earthquake, it is not your experience that it is your creativity. You have seen it from a distance, you have listened to it from a distance, you have read it in book, and you apply your creativity, and then you write a book about earthquake, you write a book about rains, you write a book about falls, waterfalls, you write a book about clouds, all these things. When you tell that Kalidasa's Megha Sambhava, it is not his experience. He is a poet by nature. He can't travel like that. In today's Maharashtra, he can't travel over a cloud and write all those things. But he has traveled very widely. Then taking the medium of clouds, he starts explaining the landscape of northern Maharashtra around Nagpur. So here, it is not the experience, it is the creativity that comes forth. In Dr. Dilip Gila's book, it is not the creativity, because he is a social scientist. Social scientists usually lack creativity because they don't practice creativity. They are practitioners of life, they are practitioners of their trade, they are practitioners of their profession. So it is his experience that has got reflected in this book. Except for something like freedom struggle and freedom fighter, which may be a story for him, which he might have read and put it in his own words. The rest, the corruption, he has faced it. The kind of administrative lapses that he has mentioned in this book, he has faced it over a period of last 20, 30 or 40 years, as a professional also, as an advocate also, as a politician also, as a social practitioner also. And at the end of the day, I told him Modi is visible in this book only in the title and also in the last page. In between there is no. But there he takes Modi's name in the epilogue, telling that after a long time there is a gentle breeze called Narendra Modi, which came in 2014, which is addressing all the problems that I have addressed in this book. Maybe success is still a long way, but the attempt is also very much taken. And to correct a system which has been bogged down by various problems, it takes multiple years. It doesn't happen in a single term or a 2 term or a 3 terms. It takes multiple terms. But he states in epilogue very emphatically that in many of the problems that have been faced this country is being addressed by Narendra Modi's regime in last 11 years. And in that way, though we missed the release of the book on 2 occasions, during the budget session of the parliament and also in last month, I find it out that the book is getting released when Narendra Modi's government has completed its 11 years of administration and it is into the 12th year, and the whole government and the political party and the society are celebrating 11 years of good government under the leadership of Narendra Modi. So even though it is late, it is happening at an important time. So I congratulate Dr. Dilip Gila in this maiden but very important effort. He mentions his daughter's expression in his preface, like when the Ayodhya judgment was about to come. The ecstasy with which Dr. Dilip was expecting the judgment. Around the country there was very high anticipation because the people who had led the movement, they had decided that either we will do with a legal consent or we will do as procedure of a parliamentarian. We will not take law into our hand, was the stated policy of the people who led the agitation, that is Vishwa Hindu Parishad and all the sadhus and sons. We will don't take law into hands and we will build the temple there, and we will wait for the legal recourse or we will wait for a parliamentary declaration. So the court had completed all its hearings and it was reserved for judgment. On the day of the judgment, his daughter, as he states in his preface, she asked, what is so important about building a temple? There are multiple temples that have been built. There are thousands and thousands of temples in our country, and there are temples which are much bigger than what is there in Ram Mandir today. And there are temples which are much older than Ram Mandir today also. Then what is so important in construction of Ram Mandir? Why people and you as a father, why you are so much ecstatic looking at, waiting for the judgment? And his book starts with that. That the younger generation of today, it is our duty of all the elders who are sitting here and also all the people who are well read and well experienced in social field, that the history should always be told to the younger generation. And younger generation cannot always live in present tense. Many people, they tell that history is a baggage and life itself is a baggage. According to Hindu custom, life itself is a baggage and it is born out of your karma of your previous birth. So Hindu custom doesn't say you have taken birth, no. So you are an independent entity, no. You are the result of the karma that has been performed in last various generations or even your family also. Out of that, your existence is there now. In the same way, if your life itself is a baggage, then history will always be a baggage. How you take that baggage is your perception. If you take it as a lesson, then it is one perception. If you take it as a load on your shoulders, this is another perception. if you take it as a means of learning how to live in future, so that you should not commit the earlier mistake, or you should learn and continue the same, then it becomes a tutorial, it becomes a guidebook, history becomes a guidebook. But history can never be detached from our life. It can never be detached. This year is the 50th year of emergency will be completed this year. In the last 1 year, the principal opposition party, Congress, which was the principal party, slowly because of its own policies in politics and its own policies of its leadership, it is slowly getting back into the oblivion. So, to make themselves relevant, they starting taking out the name of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and taking out the constitution, and they started holding constitution in their hand at every drop of the hat. And while taking oath also take a constitution, in public meetings also you have it. So they started making it branding constitution for their political purpose. But when they are doing it, these are the people who have abused Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and constitution very much, unlike others who respected it. And this is the 50th year is getting completed after the imposition of emergency on our country. There is only one occasion where democracy was trampled and constitution was humiliated or abused. That was the only occasion. After that, there is only reverence for constitution, and there has been reverence for Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. When he mentions it, no hard politics, please. If you mention it in some social group, then comes a word, this is a new word, no hard subject, please. Then what is the cool subject? How was the pizza, how was the burger, how was cookie, how was pastry? These are the cool subjects. If only cool subjects have to be discussed, then day in and day out, then you have to discuss about burgers only, then you have to discuss about the Chandni Chowk parotas or the Connaught Place Pani Puri itself. If emergency and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar are hard subjects, if Ram Mandir agitation and Ram Mandir reconstruction are hard subjects, then there is nothing called soft in this country. There can never be. Because history has to be read on this day, on this year, when in June 25th and 26th midnight, the imposition of the emergency completes 50 years, and the 51st year will stop. And here we have to remember it, because eternal vigilance is the price of freedom is a famous word by a sociologist. Even Chanakya also had mentioned it in his work in a different manner. So, 1947 August 15, that day doesn't make you very secure for the future unless you are eternally vigilant. And emergency has taught us that you have to be eternally vigilant. It is not one single freedom struggle that will make you an independent country. It has to be, you have to be eternally vigilant, continuously yearning for freedom, which has been the major, biggest character of this society. The biggest character of this society. And the people who abused constitution, the people who did not give any respect or disrespected Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, if they have started taking the name of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar to brand themselves, if they are holding constitution to brand themselves, then somewhere you have to get into the history, what did these people do during emergency? The 42nd amendment that was brought by Srimati Indira Gandhi during an emergency, it is the biggest lesson for our country's social life and our country's democratic life. If talking it is a politics, then the people who tell that it is politics need to be, their common sense needs to be questioned. Talking emergency is not politics, sir. Talking emergency is nationalism. Talking emergency is a nationalistic thing. It has to be questioned, it has to be studied, it has to be discussed, it has to be gone in depth. Why? It is not to deface somebody, because they got themselves defaced by imposing emergency. We need not deface them. हमें कुछ करना नहीं है, क्योंकि they blackened their face. But you have to do this generation. When David Kilaro's daughter questioned, what is so great in Ram Mandir movement? What is so great in Ram Mandir? That makes history very much relevant even today also. It makes very relevant today. Why? Because you should live in such a manner where the coming generations will never face a thing called imposition of emergency. For that the history is needed. Again, you should not get slaughtered by the Islamic invader. For that you have to read Akbar. For that you have to read Khilji. For that you have to read Malik Kafar. For that you have to read. Why? Again, you should not be slaughtered like that. You have to read history, because again you should not be enslaved like you were enslaved during British Raj. What made us? It is not their strength. It is the weakness of our society. Over a period of 1,000 years, it is the weakness of our society or the divisions in our society which made us succumb to Islamic invaders, and also for 400 long years getting subjected to the humiliation by the Europeans, which were utterly inferior to our civilization and our culture at any point of history or the present time. I differ with many of the sentences of Dr. Dilip Kilaro in this book. It is not that I am releasing, so I am endorsing every sentence of it. I don't agree with this sentence which he told in his introductory speech that people who go to foreign countries from India, they are more intelligent, they are more selfish. Even if your children are there, they are more selfish, they are more self-centric. Then you may easily come to a conclusion, because that is the trait of modern times, that maybe इनको जाने की अवसर नहीं मिला, इसके लिए ऐसे वो कह रहा है. He didn't get a chance to go abroad, so he is telling like that. You have the liberty to feel so. You have the liberty to feel so. It is not the individuals who have gone out are more intelligent. It is the system that has left us wanted here. It is not the individual. India contains all the best brains that is there. Some people who want opportunity, some of the opportunity, they might have gone there. That doesn't mean that they are only intelligent. The people who are staying back here are intelligent. Because by saying that, Dr. Dilip Kilaro is belittling himself because he stayed back. He is belittling himself. So I am telling, I will not agree with all the sentences in this book, but this book is a very welcome literature for people who want to study about freedom struggle, people who want to know about freedom fighter, people who want to think, study more about Mahatma Gandhi. If you want to get into the independent book, then you can flip the pages here so that you will learn more about them. You will learn more about them. And the book also dwells in detail about many of the problems that the post-independence period we are facing it. He named Nehru as aristocratic. He has been very kind to name him only as aristocratic. He has named him as aristocratic. But any country or any society, the foundation matters the most. Many of you are sitting here as parents. So what you sow is what you reap. So what is the foundation that you give to your children? That is the nature or the behavior you expect from them. Many people start repenting after their children go haywire, but they won't think about what we did during our days, their younger days, when we had to put a foundation of their behavior or character or attitude or whatever it is. Then we don't struggle, and then we start repenting when they grow up and they go out of our hands. India is also in the same position. India is also in the same position. So it had to take the turn of 2014 for a Prime Minister to talk about toilet to all houses in the country, which is a basic necessity. So when he talked about toilet to all houses in the society, he was mocked by the Congress leaders, including the present day president of the Congress party. Modi was mocked by them. But Modi replied in a satirical way that if you have left all these things for me to complain, then I have to talk the same thing. I have to talk the same thing. A basic necessity like a toilet to every house, of which many of you will not feel anything because you are born into families where there are multiple toilets. 60 or 70% of the audience who are sitting here, you are born into families whose houses have got multiple toilets in a house. You go and live in a small village where the society doesn't have toilets even today. Yes, it is 96, 97, 98% complete, but in spite of that, it is not 100% now because the society takes a lot of time to change its behavior. If a human being takes quite a number of months to change a single behavior, then society takes very long decades to change its behavior. Toilet is a behavior. It is a behavior. Even after construction also, people don't use the toilet because they got used to going into the nature to empty themselves. It took 69 years for a Prime Minister to think that this is the basic thing. Who has to be blamed? It is our first Prime Minister Nehru has to be blamed because it was not a priority at that time. The first Prime Minister and his cabinet and the government at that time started attending more of the glamorous things like non-alignment, becoming world leader, and we didn't have anything to become a world leader. We were not even producing a simple bullet also. We were not even producing a simple shell also. We didn't even have rice that could feed our stomachs. And we were thinking and we were dreaming of becoming world leaders and global leaders. And we were begging, whenever we went outside, it was a trade for 30, 40 long years after independence, we were begging for wheat. What is PL 420? What are the various agreements we got into with US and other European countries? It was for rice and it was for wheat and it was for cereals. You don't have rice and you wish to become a global leader and you wish to become a global force. We don't even produce the bullet. Instead of thinking inward and getting ourselves equipped so that we will be the world will think about as a global leader, we started projecting ourselves as global leaders, which we were not. It would have taken little more years with the preparation, because the foundations after post-independence period was not laid down properly. Today also we are suffering. Today also we are suffering in the sense that we got independence. We are voting our leader. We have got our own government. Everything we have got with, no, it is Indian. There is no foreign interference. But the way we think, but the way we act, but the way we govern, and the way we may create policies, but the vision of development, has it been Indian made? It is not Indian even today. We have borrowed heavily from Western philosophy. We have borrowed heavily from Western concepts. We have borrowed heavily from Western thinking. We have borrowed heavily from Western policies. It doesn't suit us at all. Many a times it doesn't suit us at all. Simple things. It has been told multiple times. Even till today we don't understand why Delhi court wears so heavy black coats even during 42 degree, 43 degree, 45 degree summer. Nobody understands it. Why the judges come and sit in such a gown where they can't sit at all? Just because Britishers practiced it, just because US practiced it, and our people started practicing post-independence. We could have easily discarded during the initial days itself. We needed a part of Western thinking in the form of technology, nothing else. We were lagging in technology. We were not lagging any of the other things. We were lagging in technology. Yes, we have to take it. Anobhadra, Kratavo, Yantu Vishwataha. Our thought didn't bar any good from coming inside the country. From time immemorial, we are told Anobhadra, Yantu Kratavo, Yantu Vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come from all sides. What we lacked? We lacked technology. We didn't get technology, but we got everything else. Right from food habit, right from wearing clothes, right from our education system, right from framing policy, right from the way we govern, everything we got from Western countries. Instead of getting technology, instead of having a very firm foundation on which India could have bettered itself with compared to what it is today, we didn't try to bring to build a foundation at all. Instead of it, we started building a reverse pyramid. Now we are experiencing the problem as the reverse pyramid. What is that? After the independence, we needed houses. After independence, we needed irrigation. After independence, we needed toilet. After independence, we needed electricity. After independence, we needed food. And instead of that, we went on for something else. And that led to many of the problems that we face in this country, right from corruption to cronyism to casteism to family politics, everything it started. Many of the problems that we find it very detrimental to the growth and the development of this country, all these were forcefully injected during the first 15 years of Nehru rule. Yes, they told he built some reservoirs, dam, he built some IITs, that. Half of it was built by somebody else before independence itself. The new buildings came during that. Yes, they did. I'm not telling that they didn't do anything, but they had wrong priorities. And these wrong priorities is being set right post 2014 is what one big advantage that we are having now. Now 96, 97% of the houses, it has toilets. It is the behavior that has to change. The last hamlet in the country, it has electricity now. Electricity is empowering a family. Electricity is not a facility. Electricity doesn't only bring you an AC unit. Electricity doesn't only bring you electric bulbs, it also brings machines to your villages. Network doesn't only bring OTT platform to your phone. Network also brings payment gateways to your mobile phone. Network also brings various other kinds of computer related activities to your villages. And now when I had been to, few days back I had been to Karnataka, there one of the young person told that during Corona, I tried very hard and I got a digital cafe for 500 houses in my village. I was wondering. Then I had to start immediately, but somehow the way he explained how he got the digital cafe, I sat down there and asked, he explained me what is the digital cafe. Nothing, sir. We built a small hutment there in our village because during Corona, all the engineers had to come back to their villages, so they wanted network. We didn't have network. First we got the network, then we created, because it is a hilly area, so every network, strong network in every house was a problem. So we searched for a common place, built a small hutment there, not even a building, hutment there, and we thought that there was a strong network there. Now, many of the people in our village, they work from home, they come from home to that digital cafe, they work there and they go back. It took 70 years or 72 years to build such digital cafes. This is empowerment. Empowerment is not wearing jeans. Empowerment is not getting accustomed to pizza or burger. That may also be there. But empowerment is getting network at the remote corners of the country so that the self-help group women can also use that network to increase their market reach. It is happening now. Just think about it that if it had happened in 1950s, if it had happened in 1960s, instead of wrong priorities or reverse pyramid structure of our country, where we would have been here? And we wouldn't have a place for a comment by Dr. Dilip telling that people who go outside the country are more intelligent people. Nobody would have gone outside at all. When you have heaven here, who will go outside? Everybody would have been inside this country only. These wrong priorities are being set right now. Today I had a social media message telling that the defense production has reached 1.27 crores. Defense production has reached 1.27 crores. From where 1.27 lakh crores? From where 1.27 lakh crores? It is from almost zero. It was from 5,000 to 6,000 crores. It has reached in last 6 or 7 years to 1.27 lakh crores. It is 16% increase over the last 1 year. 16%. You go to Nagpur, you go to Pune, you go to the outskirts of Belgaum, you go to outskirts of Bangalore in Devanadi or in Aerospace Park in Kundalahalli, you find multiple defense industries now who not only produce for the country, who also export. It is not only Atmanirbharata, now you are exporting also. And last year and this year, our defense export will touch 30,000 crore, and by 2030 we are planning to increase it to 1,30,000 crore. Where in a country where there was not a single bullet was getting produced. In a country where the military boots during till Corona time were being procured from Sri Lanka, as if we were producing so stylish footwear that you are wearing now, but military boot, which is a rugged one, was getting exported from Sri Lanka. It was getting exported. All the bullets, most of the bullets were getting exported from Vietnam, which is a tiny country, even compared to Delhi NCR also. Even compared to that. This reverse pyramid is getting corrected now. We have to read history to learn how we were teached, how we were deceived. Not as an individual, but as a society, but as a civilization, but as a country. I am not that they deceived. मैंने उनसे कोई उधार नहीं मांगा, उधार उन्होंने नहीं दिया, या मेरे से उन्होंने उधार ले करके उन्होंने पटाया नहीं दिया. Not that individually, but as a society, as a civilization, and as a country, we were deceived for 70 long years, which is being corrected now. Our freedom fighters and our freedom struggle didn't deserve this kind of attitude. The kind of fundamentalism that has seeped inside the society, the communalism that has seeped inside the society. You look around your neighborhood. If you are in companies, you look around your neighborhood. If you are in media field, you look around some of your reporting fields. Some of them were conspicuously silent during Operation Sindoor. Some of them were conspicuously silent in condemning Pahalgam incident. You look at the resolution that has been passed by TMC now. Then you will know what is the moral bankruptcy, what is the intellectual bankruptcy that the country is facing even today in the higher echelons of the society. Otherwise, the people are they were very vocal. In Operation Sindoor, they should have been vocal, which is a natural thing. If you are vocal every day, today also you should be vocal. You don't talk at all, so you didn't talk about Operation Sindoor. Okay, my grandma doesn't talk about Operation Sindoor. Okay, because she doesn't talk about anything that happens in the country, because she is a household lady. Okay, but my friend, my colleague, who comments on everything in this, whatever happens in this country, right from IPL to the flood, if he is conspicuously silent during Operation Sindoor, that creates a question mark. And that is the Nehruvian legacy that has been left over in this country. While condemning Pahalgam, why conducive? Why conducive to condemn Pahalgam? Yes, they were killed because they were Hindu. If you tell this is hard, then there is a truth is always be hard. No truth can be simple. Truth is always hard, and lies are always complex. No truth is simple. And they were selected and killed because they were Hindus. They were forced to recite Kalima. Even after forcing to reciting Kalima, then also there was doubt. Doesn't look like a Muslim. So they were tested whether they were Muslims or not. Then they were killed, and only male members of the family were killed. Unusual. Unusual. Not a single local person received even a single bullet, let alone in the heart, even in the legs also. Why? Because the killings were planned and the killings were selected, and killings were because they were Hindus. Condemn it. Condemn it. Why many people in our circles did not condemn it? The killing is a communal. It is a terrorism. It is terrorism. So this is the Nehruvian legacy that has been left over in this country for the last 60, 70 years. Be selective in everything that you do. Be selective. इनको एक्सेप्ट करो, इनको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करो. गांधी को एक्सेप्ट करो, चंद्रशेखर आजाद को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करो. भगत सिंह को एक्सेप्ट करो, मदनलाल दिगरा को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करो. नेहरू को एक्सेप्ट करो, झांसी रानी लक्ष्मीबाई को एक्सेप्ट मत करो. Selective in freedom struggle, selective in creating icons, selective in respecting icons. Selective in everything has been the bane of our society for the last 60, 65 years. And we talk about uniform law, universal law, but always even the justice is also many a time selective. Justice is also selective. Nupur Sharma gets one kind of comment and another person gets another kind of comment. I don't want to name such person because you know many people. And they get bail every day, and they get mentioning early in the morning itself they get the bail. And Nupur Sharma, without doing anything, he gets all kind of bashing. Again, selective thing. This is the legacy that has been left over in last 60, 65 years, which we have to get rid of. For that, history is very important. For that, history is very important. And history, because history is true, it will be very hard also. It will be very hard also. So we have to read history so that we will not get into the same problem in our future. Not because all history it has to be read to be corrected. So Pujaniya Tarsankyalaki told, you should not search for Shivlinga in every mosque. We want to correct some historical mistake. We will correct that historical mistake because that is further civilizational rejuvenation. But that doesn't mean every day we will crave for some historical correction. No, that is not the kind of gesture of our society. That is not the nature of our society. But history has to be read to correct some mistake and to learn many things from correction of that mistake. So that in future, again, you will not fall into the hands of the Islamic invader, or you will not be enslaved by the European invaders. Because this is a very great civilization which doesn't deserve such invader, which doesn't deserve subjugation by such invader, because of the inherent weakness that are deep inside our society. We had to get invaded, butchered, we had to get invaded and enslaved. Hope it doesn't become in future. And for that, whatever had to be done is getting done in multiple phases inside the society in our country now, right from the reconstruction of Ram Mandir to all the administrative measures that has been going on over in this country. All these are part of that social reawakening and also cultural rejuvenation. Because a country is made up of a civilization. If that civilization is not to be told, it doesn't have a self-pride. And it doesn't have a wisdom to carry on itself for a long time, that civilization will not survive. We had that wisdom, so we continued so far. If we have to continue again further into the future also, we have to rekindle that wisdom of self-hood. We have independence. We have to regain self-hood. Along with independence, the self-hood will carry us very much into the future, is what the message Dr. Dilip Kilaru wants to give to this book, this maiden attempt at writing a book by him. Even in his introductory speech also, I was just telling that after a politician, after entrepreneur, you become an advocate. Along with that, you become a politician. Along with all these three, you become a writer. Now slowly you are turning spiritually. Hope you will not lose on political front. No, sir, I am not going to become a spiritual person. I will be a politician only, because we want some good politicians also. It is good that if somebody turns spiritual, it's good. But we need good politicians also, which is a rare breed in this country. Such activities keeps a regular politician on right track also. Writing or service keeps a regular politician also on a right track. With that wish that writing will become one of his permanent the exercise that he has been doing as part of social work. Let him write many more books, and I request all, as a friend of Vivek Garg, telling that the biggest favor that you can do to a writer and publisher is purchasing a book and reading it. Purchasing is one thing. If you have got economic affluence, you can purchase, but you have to read it too. Because one of the elderly person whom I know in Karnataka, I used to tell, I asked him, you purchase so many books, and when you have the time to read, you are also a very heavily practicing advocate also. No, when I retire, then these books will not be available. So I have to have in my top so that when I retire, I will start reading all these times. So don't do it when you retire or when you have time to read. It has to be ready in present, it has to be purchased today, and it has to be ready in present is what I request every one of the well-wishers of both Vivek Garg and Dr. Dilip Kilaru assembled here. Once again, I thank Dr. Dilip ji to giving me an occasion to stand in front of you and utter a few words of my understanding, and also allowing me to release this book, at least on the third occasion. And the second occasion, it was by me only. The first occasion was not because of me. The second postpone was because of me only, when a lot of people from Telugu states had already assembled there. But we felt that it was not proper to release during that time. So I again apologize for him for getting the program postponed on the second, when it was fixed in the second time. And thank him for giving me an opportunity to release this book. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words and such an important food for thought. Now, I would S. Venkateshwar Rao, sir, then Pawan Reddy, sir, Varshit Reddy, sir, Sir's wife is here with us. I believe his daughter is also here with us. His brother is also there. So please join us.
also ask my daughter, who's an artist. It has been very tough for me to find a small gift for Santosh ji. Yeah. My wife Amareshwari Kilaru, who's bearing with all my different phases of my life, as Sri Santosh ji was telling that I'm jumping from one career. They have tolerated me for so long, so I'm thankful to my wife also and my daughter also. Saroha is an artist. My brother Pradeep stays in Bangalore. We both are construction people. We both shared our father's company. He's also contractor from Bangalore, sir. He studied in Gulbarga. Thank you very much, sir. And my daughter bought a small gift for Santosh ji. Actually, it was very tough because he doesn't accept sweets, flowers. So my daughter has bought an artistic glass for him, made by her. So bring it, Nana. Gift it with your own hands. Open it and gift it with your own hands. She has a small write-up about the glass which she has made. She has a write-up for the glass also.
ఇవాళ బిఎల్ సంతోష్ గారు నా బుక్ హిందూస్ నెహ్రూ టు మోడీ గారి 11 ఏళ్ళు పూర్తయిన తరుణంలో ఈ బుక్ ఇవాళ రిలీజ్ అవటం నాకు ఎంతో ఆనందాన్ని ఇచ్చింది. బిఎల్ సంతోష్ గారు బుక్ అంతా చదివి దాన్ని చక్కగా దానిలో ఉన్న వ్యూసు, దాంట్లో ఆయనకు నచ్చనివి అలా అని చెప్పి దాంట్లో మంచి విషయాలు, చెడు విషయాలు కూడా ఆయన సవివరంగా చెప్పటం నాకు ఎంతో ఆనందం ఉంది. దాంట్లో నేను సరి చేసుకోవాల్సిన విషయాలు కూడా ఆయన చక్కగా చెప్పారు. దీనికి ఏ విధమైన అభ్యంతరం లేదు. అది నా ఒపీనియన్స్గా కూడా నేను రాశాను దాంట్లో. కనుక అందరు ఒపీనియన్స్ డిఫర్ అవుతాయి, దీంట్లో ఎటువంటి అనుమానం లేదు. ఈ బుక్ ఇవాళ రిలీజ్ అయ్యి నరేంద్ర మోడీ గారు చేసిన మంచి పనులు ఈ 11 ఏళ్లలో ప్రజలకి స్వచ్ఛ భారత్ నుంచి తీసుకుని మొన్నటి దాకా ప్రజలకి ఇళ్ళే కానివ్వండి, అట్లానే కుళాయిలే కానివ్వండి, లేకపోతే టాయిలెట్సే కానివ్వండి, బీమాలే కానివ్వండి, వాళ్ళకి ఫ్రీ గ్యాస్ కనెక్షన్సే కానివ్వండి, ఇన్సూరెన్స్ స్కీమ్సే కానివ్వండి, వృద్ధులకి ఇన్సూరెన్సు, ఈ విధంగా పలు స్కీమ్స్ మోదీ గారు ఈ 11 ఏళ్లలో భారత ప్రజలకి అందజేయటం, ఈ 11 ఏళ్ళు కూడా ఇవాళ కంప్లీట్ అయ్యి సెలబ్రేట్ చేయటం అంతా కూడా ఇవాళ నా బుక్ రిలీజ్ అవటం, దానికి మనం పోల్చుకోవటంలో చాలా ఆనందం కలిగింది. బుక్లో నేను రాసిన విషయాలు హిందూస్ నెహ్రూ టు మోడీ అనే ఉద్దేశం, మన భారతదేశం 100 ఏళ్ళు అయ్యే తరుణానికి మనం ఇంకా డెవలప్ అవుతూ ఉంటామనే ఆలోచన కూడా వేరే పాశ్చాత్య దేశాలని చూసి మనం ఇంకా అక్కడికి చేరకపోవటం, ఇంత రిచ్ హెరిటేజు, రిచ్ కల్చర్ ఉన్న భారతదేశం 10,000 ఏళ్ల నుంచి మనకి నలంద లాంటి లేకపోతే తక్షశిల లాంటి యూనివర్సిటీలు ఉండి కూడా మనం ఇంకా డెవలపింగ్ నేషన్ లాగా ఉండిపోవటంలో ఏంటి కారణాలు, మన భారతీయుల్ని ఎటువంటి ఉద్దేశాలు, ఎటువంటి చెడు చీడ మన్ని వెనక్కి లాగుతుందనే విషయాల్ని నేను ఆలోచనలో వాటిని వివరించాను. అటువంటి ఆలోచనలు మారటానికి వాళ్ళ మన హిందుత్వాన్ని ఏ విధంగా మనం దాన్ని ఒక ఫౌండేషన్గా తీసుకుని మన పిల్లలకు కానీ వారి పిల్లలకు కానీ దాన్ని నేర్పించాల్సిన అవసరం ఎంతో ఉంది. మన ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ని అంతా కూడా మనం మారుస్తేనే రాబోయే తరాలు మారుతాయనే నా ఆలోచనని ఈ బుక్లో నేను పొందుపరచడం జరిగింది. ఈ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ని మనం వేదాలు కానీ భగవద్గీత కానీ రామాయణం లాంటి గొప్ప ప్రాచీన మన చదువుని దానిలో ఉన్న సాంప్రదాయాన్ని దాంట్లో ఉన్న మంచిని మనం ప్రజలకి అట్లానే మన పిల్లలకి భావి తరాలకు కూడా మనం ఇవాళ చేరువ చేయటం ఎంతో అవసరం ఆవశ్యకత ఉంది అనే నా ఆలోచనని ఈ బుక్లో పొందుపరిచాను. అది అందరూ కూడా చదివి దానిలో ఉన్న మంచిని తీసుకుని వారి కుటుంబానికి పిల్లలకి దీన్ని చేరువ చేయాలని చెప్పి నా కోరికని, అందరూ కూడా దీన్ని చదివి ఆనందించి దీన్ని ఏ విధంగా వాళ్ళ పిల్లలకి నేర్పించాలనేది కూడా భగవద్గీత కూడా రోజు చదివి మనం ఇవాళ దాన్ని ఒక గైడ్గా తీసుకుని మనం దాన్ని రోజు అధ్యయనం చేస్తే ఎంత మంచి జరుగుతుంది మనకని కూడా దీంట్లో నేను పొందుపరిచాను. అవన్నీ కూడా మీరు చదవాలని నా కోరికని మన్నించి ఇక్కడ మీడియా అందరూ వచ్చిన సోదరులకి నేను కృతజ్ఞతలు చెప్తూ సెలవు తీసుకుంటున్నాను.
సార్, ఈ బుక్ రాయాలని మీకు ఎప్పుడు అనుకున్నారు? ఎలా దీన్ని స్టార్ట్ చేశారు?
ఇది నేను చాలా దేశాలు వెస్ట్రన్ కంట్రీస్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు అక్కడ ఒక 3 ఏళ్ళు అమెరికాలో కూడా నేను వ్యాపారం చేశాను. చేసిన రోజుల్లో అటువంటి గొప్ప దేశాలు నా దేశం కాదు అనే ఆలోచన చాలా బాధని కలగజేసేది నాకు. ఈ బుక్ నేను 2001 నుంచి నా ఆలోచనలోకి వచ్చింది. అప్పుడు నాకు కాంగ్రెస్ గవర్నమెంటు అప్పుడు దాకా ఉండి మన దేశంకి ఏం చేసింది అనేది కూడా ఆలోచన చూస్తే మంచి మంచి 5 స్టార్ హోటల్స్ మెల్లిమెల్లిగా ఏ విధంగా నిర్మూలిస్తా ఇవాళ దేశాన్ని ప్రగతి పదంలో తీసుకెళ్ళి 2047 కల్లా ఒక డెవలప్డ్ నేషన్గా వికసిత భారత్గా చూడాలనే కోరికని ఇవాళ నా కళ్ళెదురుగా నా కళ నెరవేరుతా కనిపించి నా అదృష్టం పంట పండింది, నా భావి తరాల అదృష్టం పంట పండిందనే ఉద్దేశంలో నేను ఈ బుక్లో పొందుపరచడం జరిగింది.
ఇంకా కమింగ్ ఏదైనా బుక్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా?
నా ఆలోచనలో ఇంకో 2 పుస్తకాలు ఉన్నాయి, అవి స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను. మన భారతదేశంలో ఉన్న ఒక బెగ్గర్స్ అడుక్కునే వాళ్ళందరికీ మనం వాళ్ళకి ఏ విధంగా వాళ్ళని జాగ్రత్తగా చూసుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత భారతదేశం మీద ఉందని, వాళ్ళని ఏ విధంగా చేయొచ్చు అనేది ఆ మెథడ్స్ సిస్టమ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా నేను దాంట్లో పొందుపరిచి దాన్ని తీసుకొస్తున్నాను. ఈ ఆలోచనలు నేను ఇంకో 5-6 నెలల్లో ఆ పుస్తకం కూడా రిలీజ్ చేయబోతున్నాను.
కంగ్రాచులేషన్స్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.